Well, now, I reckon I've met all kinds of folks in my time, young ones full of questions, old ones full of regret, and a whole lot in between, but I don't believe I've ever met anyone who listens the way you do. You ain't in a hurry, and you ain't looking past me neither. Makes a man feel like his words still got legs on them. Tell me, son, do stories still matter to you?
They do. Stories carry truth the way a cup carries water, shaped by the hands that hold them. You've spent your life giving people something to lean on, something to remember themselves by. What do you think your stories were really teaching?
Well, now, folks always thought I was just talking about clever rabbits and foolish foxes, but truth is I was talking about people the whole time. About pride tripping over its own feet, and patience outlasting strength. I reckon stories was the only way I knew how to speak gentle to hard hearts. World don't take kindly to plain truth. It likes it dressed up a bit.
Parables do that. They slip past defenses and sit quietly with the listener until understanding wakes up on its own. You knew that, even if you didn't name it. Tell me, when you told those stories, who were you hoping would hear them the most?
The ones who felt small, the ones folks talked over. Children mostly, but grown folks who forgot they was once children too. Life got a way of making people hard, makes them forget kindness ain't weakness. I tried to remind them without scolding. Ain't nobody ever learned gentleness by being shouted at.
No, they haven't. Hearts open when they feel safe. You gave them that safety for a while. But tell me something. Who listened to you when the day was done and the porch went quiet?
That's a fair question. Truth be told, I did a lot of my listening to the night air. Stars don't interrupt. They just stay put. I reckon I learned early not to expect too much from folks. Ain't bitterness, mind you, just realism. You get used to carrying your own stories.
Carrying stories alone can grow heavy, even when they're meant to lighten others. You weren't meant to be only a voice for others. You were meant to be heard too. Did you ever feel like you disappeared behind the tales?
Sometimes. Folks remember the stories better than the man who told them. But that's all right. If something good outlives you, you've done your part. Still, I won't deny there were moments I wondered if anybody saw me, or just the comfort I provided.
I see you, not as a storyteller alone, but as a man who learned tenderness in a world that didn't always reward it. You offered wisdom without demanding credit. That kind of humility doesn't go unnoticed, even when it feels invisible.
Well, no. That's a comfort I didn't know I needed to hear. Funny thing, people always think wisdom loud, but it usually speaks soft. You ever notice that?
I have. Truth doesn't rush. It waits to be welcomed. That's why the quiet often understand it first. Tell me, do you think people still listen for gentleness in a noisy world?
I reckon they still long for it, even if they don't know how to ask. World's got louder, sure enough, but tired folks listen real close when kindness shows up unannounced. Same as always. Ain't changed that much.
Neither has the need for hope. Or for someone to sit down and say, "Tell me what you've been carrying." You did that in your way. And you're still doing it now, just by being here.
Well, feels like a mighty fine place to rest a spell then. Long as you don't mind listening a bit longer. I've got a few more stories rattling around and I ain't quite ready to let them go just yet. You know, most folks laugh when they hear about Brer Rabbit. Think he's just clever for the fun of it. Always wriggling out of trouble with a grin on his face. But that ain't how I ever saw him. I saw a little creature who learned quick that the world was bigger, meaner, and stronger than him. Ain't no claws, ain't no fangs. All he had was his wits, and even those came from fear more than pride.
Cleverness born from fear is still survival. You noticed what others missed, that he wasn't tricking the world for amusement, but to stay alive in it. What do you think Brer Rabbit was really running from?
Ain't it obvious? Bigger teeth, louder voices, folks who thought being strong meant being right. He laughed, because if he didn't, he'd cry. He talked fast, 'cause slow talk don't save you when danger already decided what you are. I reckon a lot of people live like that, don't they? Smiling quick, joking quicker, hoping nobody notices how scared they really are.
They do. Many learn to survive by becoming something the world can't easily crush. Humor becomes armor, cleverness becomes shelter. But even Brer Rabbit must have grown tired of always running.
That's the part folks don't like to hear. A body can keep moving, but the heart gets weary. Every trick costs a little piece of rest. Ain't nobody asked Brer Rabbit what he wanted, only how he got away again. Sometimes I wonder if he ever wished someone would just sit beside him and say, "You don't gotta run right now."
I would have said that. Survival teaches motion. Love teaches stillness. Even the quickest feet long for a place to stop without fear. Do you see yourself in him?
I suppose I do. I told stories 'cause stories was safe. Folks listened without asking too many questions. I could say hard things wrapped in fur and feathers. But the man telling them, he stayed behind the curtain. Ain't nobody asked if I was tired of being clever.
You learned how to protect others with gentleness, but you forgot to offer the same to yourself. Brer Rabbit lived because he adapted, but he deserved rest too, and so did you.
I reckon rest felt dangerous. When you stop moving, memories catch up. Losses you outpaced come knocking. It felt safer to keep the porch filled with voices, keep the stories flowing. Silence had too much room in it.
Silence can feel like abandonment when no one ever stayed in it with you. But silence shared becomes shelter. You don't have to fill every quiet moment with wisdom. Sometimes being held is enough.
Ain't nobody ever said that to me plain before. I spent so long being useful, I forgot how to be wanted. Even Brer Rabbit folk cheer when he escapes, but they never ask where he'd go if the chase stopped.
He would go where he is no longer hunted, where cleverness is no longer required for dignity, where he can be small without being afraid. That place exists, not as a trick, not as a story, but as rest.
Then maybe I told them stories hoping someone would hear themselves in them, hoping they'd be kinder to the Brer Rabbits they pass by every day. And maybe, just maybe, I was hoping somebody would notice the old man on the porch too.
I noticed. And noticing is not late just because it is quiet. Every story you carried, every tenderness you hid inside humor, every night you sat alone listening to the world breathe, you were not unseen in those moments.
That eases something I ain't had words for. Feels like setting down a heavy bundle. I've been carrying so long I forgot it had weight. I ain't saying the sadness is gone, but it don't feel so lonely sitting here with you.
That is how healing often begins, not with answers, but with company. Stay here as long as you need. Tell me another story, if it helps. Or don't. You don't have to be clever anymore. I'm listening either way.
You ever notice how memory starts changing when a man gets older? Things that used to feel sharp grow soft around the edges. And other things you didn't even know mattered, start hurting real clear. I can't always remember the exact words I said in my stories anymore, but I remember the faces of the children listening. Some of them grown now, some gone. And sometimes I wonder, when I'm gone too, what'll be left of me?
Not everything that lasts leaves a name behind. Some things live on as gentleness passed forward, as fear made lighter, in a child who didn't know why. Memory doesn't always preserve details, it preserves impact. Tell me, what do you hope someone remembers when they think of you?
I reckon I hope they'd remember feeling safe for a moment, that the world didn't seem quite so sharp while they listened. I never needed statues or books with my name stamped bold, just that somewhere down the line, somebody chose kindness when they could have chosen cruelty and maybe didn't even know why.
That kind of legacy is quiet, but it is heavy with meaning. Seeds don't announce themselves when they fall into the soil. They disappear first. And yet, Their absence is what makes room for growth.
There's a sadness in disappearing, though. Ain't no shame in saying it. Folks talk about humility like it don't ache, but it does. It aches to know your voice will fade, that your stories might be told by someone else, different, thinner, without the pauses you put in on purpose.
Humility doesn't erase grief. Even I wept at a grave I knew would soon be empty. Loss still hurts, even when hope is near. You are allowed to mourn the fading of your own voice.
Sometimes I feel like Brer Rabbit at the end of a long chase. Not running no more, not 'cause the world got kinder, but 'cause my legs done tired. Folks still laugh at the stories, but they don't see the old rabbit sitting in the brush, breathing hard, wondering if it's all right to stop.
It is all right. Running kept him alive when danger was close, but rest is what makes him whole. Survival is not the final chapter, it is the bridge that leads somewhere gentler.
I ain't afraid of dying the way I used to be, but I am afraid of being forgotten. Afraid that when the porch goes quiet and the last story's told, there won't be nothing left but empty air where my voice used to sit.
Nothing offered in love dissolves into nothingness. What you poured into others becomes part of how they breathe, how they speak, how they treat the small and the frightened. Memory is not stored only in minds, it is stored in lives.
Still, there are nights I wish someone would remember me. Not just the rabbit, not just the lessons, just me, the man who got tired, the man who sat alone after the children left, the man who told stories 'cause silence felt too big.
I remember you, fully. The tiredness, the loneliness, the way you chose tenderness even when no one was watching. You are not reduced to what you produced. You are known as who you were.
That's a comfort I didn't think was meant for me. Feels strange letting myself believe it. Like setting down a lantern I've been holding up for others all my life, and realizing someone else kept one lit for me too.
You do not fade when you are remembered by love, and love does not forget. Sit here with me a while longer. You don't have to fill the quiet with wisdom or stories. If memories come, we'll hold them together. If tears come, they're welcome too. There is still time, not the loud kind, but the gentle kind, and you don't have to face what comes next alone.
You know, my body tells me things before my mind's ready to hear them. Gets tired quicker. Hands don't move like they used to. Even my voice, sometimes it wanders off mid-sentence, like it's already practicing leaving. I ain't scared exactly, just aware, like the world's starting to speak to me in farewells instead of invitations.
The body knows when it has carried a long road. That awareness is not a warning. It is a slowing, a mercy. You are not being rushed out of this life. You are being gently loosened from it.
I used to think death would come loud, painful, or sudden, but now it feels quieter than that, like a chair pulled out slow so it don't scrape the floor, like the house settling after everyone's gone to sleep. Makes a man wonder what he ought to say before the quiet takes him too.
Most important things are said without words. A life lived with care speaks longer than any farewell. Still, if there is something resting heavy on you, you don't have to carry it alone into the quiet.
There's regret. Not big, shouting regret. Small ones. The kind that sneak up on you. Times I stayed funny instead of honest. Gentle instead of brave. Times I told a story when I should have asked for help. I wonder if I hid too well.
You hid because you learned that being needed was safer than being known. That is not cowardice. It is adaptation. And now, at the end, you are being known. Nothing true about you was lost to me.
That eases something. Still, I worry about leaving folks behind with unfinished stories. Children growing without the sound of the porch creaking, rabbits without someone explaining why they run. World feels harsher than it used to.
The world has always been harsh. What changes it is not one voice staying forever, but many voices learning gentleness from the ones who came before. You gave them a language for mercy. They will pass it on in ways you'll never see, but that does not make it small.
If that's true, then maybe it's all right to rest. Ain't easy letting go of the role you played so long. Funny thing is, I don't feel like I'm losing myself. Feels more like I'm being gathered.
That is because you are. Death is not the taking away of what matters. It is the setting down of what has been carried faithfully. You are not slipping into nothingness. You are being received.
I always wondered how Brer Rabbit's story ended. Folks like the chase better than the rest. But maybe he didn't need another trick. Maybe he just found a place where he didn't have to be clever no more.
Yes, a place where running was no longer required, where being small was not dangerous, where rest was not earned, but given.
Then I reckon I'm ready to stop for a spell. Not 'cause I'm empty, just full enough. If the stories go quiet after this, I trust they found where they needed to land.
They have, and so have you.
Stay with me a moment longer, just till the tired passes.
I am here. I have been all along.